Well, good morning, my friends. Good afternoon. Good evening. Wherever you are, it's a pleasure that you're here with us today. And this is the first time that you're here with us. My name is Carlos Vargas, and it's a pleasure to have you with us. We love to work with entrepreneurs, companies, churches, coaches to help them transform and leverage technology so they can use it to communicate their message. And today I have a very interesting topic that I keep seeing over and over, and people ask me, okay, so can I use a wireless camera for my production? And a lot of those may be something like this, like a Mevo Cam, or maybe like a GoPro. And the reason that they're looking for some of these is that some of those cameras are what is available right now. A lot of them, like professional cameras, have been out of stock or different things like that. And doing some testing and different things, people sometimes get problems. They get out of audio sync, different options. And sometimes people don't understand the difference between a wireless connection and a wired connection. So what I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be sharing a little bit so you understand why you should not use a wireless camera when you don't have to, and why a wired camera is better. And there's some different things that specifically depend on what you're doing. You may have a benefit from using an example, like if you have an external shot, like something like this, let me show you. So that is running from over there, and that is an external shot that I'm running from a different camera. Something like that you're not listening to your mouth, may be a difference, so the delay may not be affected as much. So if you're building a production and you're actually bringing some shots that doesn't have a mouth connected, example, like could be a speaker that is a faraway shot, if it's a crowd shot, if you're actually bringing also, let's say, an instrument shot, like if it's a church, that may work sometimes, but it's preferred to have a wire camera. So let me bring this up here real quick for you. Okay, so Wi-Fi or wired cameras connections for your streaming. And here's what happened. A lot of people, they have heard the different sizes. So you have a 720p, you may have a 1080i, you may have a 1080, and they don't understand that that cable that you plug in on the back, it's like it's passing data like a computer. So it's going from point A to point B, and that requires bandwidth. So what happens is that if you don't have enough, your signal get degraded, it get bad. So let me give you an idea. Long time ago, you had 720p. We're talking about probably 10 years ago when the 720p technology came out or more. And at that time, it needed a dedicated cable. Doesn't mean that today you don't need it. It means that people think that they don't need it. So a single camera that is sending a full 720p signal will need about 186 megabytes. So meaning a full network connection, like a wired connection. And you're gonna say, well, Carlos, there's wireless. I'm gonna go into that so you can understand, because a lot of people confuse that they have wireless connectivity, but that doesn't mean that you can transfer with that router the amount of data that you need. So if you have, for an HD quality 1080i or 1080p, you're looking of over 200 to 300 megabytes per second internal. So why do I go so specific on this? Because a lot of people are confused with their internet speeds versus their internal transfer. They're two different things, and they have nothing to do. You can have zero upload speed and you can be doing internal. Like when I'm recording a video, I don't transfer anything external. The video is all internal, but the network connectivity need to support that. Meaning, if you're gonna be recording with the camera, let's say this camera can record at 4K. If I use it without the base, just like this is a Mivo cam. This camera is only wireless. So my wireless router gonna be doing all the work. And when it's doing all the work, it cannot transfer a 4K signal in a clean way out to the computer so I could do a presentation. I need to have a wired connection. See, I need to have the Ethernet cable hardwired to be able to send that 4K signal. So if you look at what it's saying in there on that graphic, it's showing that you may need close to 700 megabytes per second to be able to send that transfer. That means that you will be transferring from wherever that network is almost a gig per camera. So let me talk to my friends that do streaming for, let's say, churches or events. And you probably know this, but if you don't, if you're gonna be doing a wireless camera, you're gonna have a lot of bandwidth. That's why you have that black cable, the SDI cable. That cable can transfer dedicated bandwidth for that camera. So if you're gonna do it at home and you only have a wireless network, you're gonna have a lot of trouble. You need to get all this connected directly with the gigabit network minimum. And this is the foundation, because we're gonna be doing a video later on with NDI, that is a network protocol for video, and you definitely need to do it over the network. So let me give you an idea. When you are having a wired network, A 100 megabit network only transfer 10 megabytes per second. When you have a gigabit, you can be transferring 100 megabits. So if you look at this, it's telling you the minimum. If you're gonna be doing HD quality video, you need to invest on a gigabit network. That means it's not using the switch that come from Comcast or from AT&T or for whoever. You actually need a dedicated switch so you can connect all your connections and all your cameras. Because here's what happened. When you're running wireless, your speed for your cameras drop down significantly. An example, like if you don't know what type of wireless network you have and it's just what came from, let's say, the provider, those routers are not made for a lot of traffic. They're made for probably 5 clients all the way up to probably 20 clients. It doesn't mean that the internet connection doesn't support it. It's just that that device, the wireless connection in there, is not made for that. So you need to invest on something. But when you're streaming video, it's gonna get bogged down because the video packets and all the data, you're gonna consume all the bandwidth on the router with a single camera. So my friends, I'm doing this because there's a lot of questions about, hey, I wanna buy wireless cameras so I can do my streaming or that I can bring them into production. And it's possible. For example, I have brought this camera, but there's a lot of additional things that you have to do to be able to bring them in. It's as simple as you can bring your cameras through an HDMI connection, like we have said before, a cam link or a U-tap, and then from there, you actually can just, let me switch cameras here, go here. So when you bring the cameras in, then you can switch them without a problem. So my friends, it's been awesome to see you today. It's been awesome to help you with this. If you have any questions, drop us a comment in here and hope to see you soon.